Hi Year Fives and welcome to Wednesday's math session. And we have been looking at dividing two digits by one digit on Monday and Tuesday. And today we are just going to be really practicing using the bus stop method to divide three digits by one digit. And I'd like you to focus on today carrying in using the bus stop method and in writing down our remainders. So let's have a look at this question here. 145 divided by 5. And you can see I've laid out my 5 like that. And I've put my shape like this to show that it's a division. And it's a bit like a bus stop, doesn't it? And down the side here, I have written my times tables to help me with finding the factors of 5. So let's have a look at this one here. I'm first of all going to do how many times does 5 go into 1? Or how many 5s are there in 1? There are 0, so then I carry my 1 over. There are 1 left over, so I carry it over. Now I'm going to do how many 5s are there in 14? Well, there are 2 5s, because if I look at this side here, 2 times 5 is 10. That's the closest I can make to 14, isn't it? If I had 3 times 5, that would be too many. So then I would write 2, remainder 4, and then how many 5s go into 45? If I have a look down here, well, that would be 9 5s go into 45. So my total would be 29. Let's have a look at this one. 670 divided by 5. Again, I've written my 5 times table down here to help me with the grouping. How many 5s are there in 6? Well, there is one group of 5 in 6, isn't there? Because once times 5 is 5, and I've got 1 remainder, so I'm going to pop my remainder there. How many groups of 5 can I make from 17? If I have a look down my list, the closest I can do is 3 lots of 5. So I'm going to write 3, because 3 times 5 is 15, and then I've got remainder 2. How many 5s then go into 20? Look down my list. I can see that 4 lots of 5 is closest, isn't it? So my answer is 134. 670 divided by 5 is 134. The key is, Year 5s, if you're not too sure of your times tables, is to write them down. So if you're dividing by 5, you will need to write down your 5 times tables to help you with this division. Let's have another practice. So here I'm going to be looking at my 2 times table. So how many 2s go into 3? Well, I can make one group, remainder 1, can't I? How many 2s go into 16? Well, that would be 8, because 8 times 2 is 16. And how many 2s are there in 2? There is just 1. So my answer would be 181. Now let's have a look at using our 3 times table, and we are going to be dividing by 3. So I've written my 3 times table there by the side if I need it, and I'm now going to follow the same procedure. How many 3s are there in 6? Well, there are, I'm going to have to write that one in, there are, oops, sorry you guys, how many 3s are there in 6? Well, there are 2, aren't there? So I'm going to write my 2 there. Give it a minute. My 2 there, lovely. How many 3s are there in 0? Well, there is no 3s in 0. And how many 3s go into 8? So if I look down, I can make 2, because 2 times 3 is 6. But then that's going to give me a remainder of 2, isn't it? So I'm going to write it like this. You just need to write remainder 2. Now, can you see how I've done that? I have done 3 into 6. So how many 3s are there in 6? Well, there are 2, because 2 times 3 is 6. How many 3 go into 0? Well, none. How many 3's go into 8? Well, I know that 2 times 3 is 6. So I've done 2 times 3 is 6. But then I've got 8, haven't I? So that'll give me a remainder of 2 because 6, 7, 8, I will have 2 remaining. And that's all you do. You just write remainder 2. Let's try another example using remainders. Now for this one, we're going to be dividing again by 3. So let's have a look here. 3 into 5. How many times does 3 go into 5? Well, that goes in once, doesn't it? And I've got remainder 2. How many 3's go into 21? Well, that would be 7, because 7 times 3 is 21. How many 3's go into 2? Well, that's going to be 0. Remainder. Oops. That's going to be 0, and then I'm going to then carry on, carry through my 2. So that's going to then give me remainder 2. So the answer would be 170, remainder 2. So just keep an eye out, year 5s. You need to make sure that you're writing your remainder after, like this. I don't want to see any decimal points today, just remainders, and make sure that you are writing down your carrying. And if you need to, then write down your times table next to the calculation to help you with finding the correct number of groups. So your task today will be to complete the practice bus stop method, and just to make sure that you are writing down your remainders like this. And I look forward to seeing your work.